And so I'm going to start removing the seam sealer from that point. Heck, from that point all the way down to that point, as well get rid of that bead right there, because that is definitely where this is coming from. Worked along the bottom with the chisel, kind of tapping it across there with the hammer, and now coming in from the center, I was able to get it to come up in a bit of a chunk. So this is going to take some doing, but I'm going to chisel through all of this. Like I said, over to the other side over there, just want to go ahead and have a fresh continuous bead from one side to the other on here between these sealed pads here, to make sure that we have a really good adhesion. I'm going to continue on scraping the back side of this. Let's see if I can get it to, look at that. Move this chunk out the way here. You can see. So down in here. Guess that's the, it's more mushy. See if that's actually wet, if that's supposed to be the same stuff, or what the heck's going on there. But yeah, so I'm going to continue to this stuff looks more consistent. The this other section right here is really rather funky. Again, it's kind of gummy. I don't know what was going on right there, but yeah, we're gonna keep on with this. I'll go ahead and scrape this area more with the wood chisel. All right, so I'm gonna keep going on, just remove everything up to this point right here. But now I'm working left-handed, coming from this side. And the in-cabin air intake is right here. Also to note, what I did do, I did squirt some of the red dye underneath, because there you can feel that there is a, where the plastic goes in through the firewall, there's a seam there, and I kind of suspected that water was getting through there, but I squirted some of the red in there before I got to that area, and nothing. So not sure where it went, but it did not drain. It did not drain into the compartment. All right, keep on with this. Haha, just getting it right there. on that and see what we have left. All right, well, I'm going through, seeing the whole stretch right there. Wondering if it's worth just running the water down through it again, just to confirm that this is the seam it's coming through. Probably do is put a few drops over on that side and see what happens. First, before I do that, the area is clear. For the time being, no drips, what have you right now. Nothing. All right, let's see what happens. Totally soak the car, but I figure that should be about enough right there. All right, let's see what happens here. Yeah, it's pooling right there. Shooting some along here. See what happens. So, I guess it takes a moment or two for it to come through. So I did just check this before going through to drip some more of it, and yeah, I checked and yeah, it's still wet with red right up in the padding area right here. So yeah. Seams. That's a seam, but I do also want to see that other area right there. Make sure it's also I guess part of the problem. So we're gonna go ahead and drip just a little bit right along this area, because that's the spot where I was noticing the stuff that came out was, or the lower portion of it was black instead of white. So I'm thinking that there was a seam in there. So give that just a minute. Let's see what we got. I mean, the area I was dripping is up towards it, over the AC unit and such in the central stack there. So I figure that it's probably going to cause moisture more up in this area. It's like right, can't even tell where my finger is here. There's like a screw peg for holding on like the part of the dashboard under. It's like just off to the right of that, so I can feel the moisture path. I'm just kind of cramming the towel up there right now. Seeing if this comes back. Red. Yep, it's part of the issue. All right, well, we're gonna seam fill all of it. So wiped it all down, but I want to go ahead and start blowing it out. So okay, so up to this point, found that microfiber towel and acetone do a wonderful job of picking up all the straggly debris along here. So I'm going to continue with that. Just a moment. Get a little bit more on there. A lot bit more. They kind of scratch it a little bit. They scratch the metal a little bit with that metals. Actually, it's the wood chisel that I was using. So a little aggressive, but again, you know, just prep clean everything as well as you can, so you get best adhesion with the new material. Nice. Pretty nice. So part of the prep for the seam sealer is they recommend that you tape off the area that you want sealed, and then you take, because this is primed or painted stuff, take some 220 grit sandpaper and just kind of run it over and you know, rough the surface up a little bit for improved adhesion. Okay. So there's just a quick shot, taping off the two sides right there, so I don't get too crazy with it, but I did give for a little bit more of an allowance on the width. Actually, it's pretty generous compared to what the original was there. Yeah, I think it's probably more important for the places where it's more visible. Yeah, there's a lot of mosquitoes here. All right, so next. Get some 220 and start running. All right, I'll go ahead and do one more quick wipe down on acetone and we should be ready to caulk. All right, so this is the stuff that I'm using off of Amazon. So that's what they were saying. go ahead, do the prep stuff. Instructions are on the back. And so now go ahead and do the puncture, take this off, load it up into the caulk gun. First, I also give you the top with it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start out, I'm going to cut it a little on the narrow side. I want to make sure that I get a really good bead down as far as I can down in the seam, and then really build it up. So we got the sealant loaded up. I went ahead and cut it on the, not showing it very well here, but they've got like little 1, 2, 3 notches on there. I went ahead and just cut it for the one notch, which is the, I guess, shallowest. All right, we're gonna get to it. Again, I'm not going to hold the gun and film at the same time. I ran the first bit of bead down. A couple things to note. That right there and the bolts that are sticking up do impede the ability to run a consistent even bead along. That's why I have kind of a break right there, and right behind where the bolt is. Stuff flowed pretty easy though. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of press smooth that, and then run another layer over that. Okay, it's not pretty. This is another pinch area right here. As you're trying to run a caulk line, it gets caught up between the filter and the that section of the firewall right there, or the air intake and the section of the firewall. So I had to kind of come from the other direction. So that's what that splatter right there looks like. It is from. So there we are. This stuff's supposed to set about 30 minutes. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and see about that, and then peel the tape off and go from there. All right. So it's next morning. I let the stuff sit overnight. I did go through and smooth out the stuff along the back, try to make sure that it wasn't set up to where water could just sit and collect. So I'm going to take the tape off and then put some blue dyed water along there to see if we still get the leak. All right, so let's go ahead and get rid of this. Feels a little soft, but I think that's what it's designed to do. It's supposed to stay kind of cushy and expandable through the whole area. All right, let's see. All right, so we'll go ahead and swing in and swing inside and see how it goes. kind of happy with the way that this stuff, the water, or just, you know, doesn't want to absorb into it, just kind of sits there. It's a good thing. All right, moment of truth. Trying to feel up as far as I can, push the towel up as far as I can. Yeah, if the towel comes back with any red on it, that was from yesterday. So that was the old leak. If it has any blue or purple, I guess, on it today, then we still have an issue. I see nothing. All right. Yay. Okay. So checking back in, the blue is still sitting there, but I want to make darn good and well that that's taking care of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and base the rest of the area with blue. Sorry about the camera work. Some folks had complained about that area right there causing leak as well. I hadn't experienced it over from that side, but let's see. Let that go. Get a little bit more in there. Really like to make sure that we have all of this squared away because they're expecting some potential rain this evening. All right, that should do it. See, the drain right there is doing its thing. Water, blue water. Lots of blue water. All right. Swing back in here. Do we see any blue drips? Or any weird blue show up and along any of the other seams? Does not appear so. Ooh. Look at all of that mildew and such. So that's what we're going to take care of next. Steam clean this whole thing, get all that out of here. All right, good deal. Okay, put in fresh distilled water, turn the McCullough on, and we're going to wait for that to heat up and get steamy. So while the steamer's doing its thing, getting warmed up, I'm going to go ahead and start putting everything back together under here. That water's been sitting there for at least the past 15 minutes up to this point, and does not appear that it's doing anything to the inside. So I'm gonna dry that up, and then we're gonna go ahead and start putting the harnesses harnesses back in place, then the wiper motor, and the cross member cowl assembly, and then the wipers, and be done under the hood.